welcome back to Liquid Lunch Marathon. With me, Hugh, and Sandra here today. And June Garber is joining us here.
This is like the most spectacular interview.
So what happened here?
God. Okay,
right?
okay. So we have this list here, and June's our last guest today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, I know she's familiar. And I'm thinking, this can't be who I think it is. And then I see her, and I so know it. June, oh my God, I don't know how long ago was that, but you were my musical debut.
Oh, that
You
is
are-
amazing.
I
cannot believe it.
you were such an inspiration for me
Wow.
because you were so gracious and so grateful, graceful when you were the star of The Ghost of Mrs. Muir, and I was an extra, kind of, sort of. I played the dead Mrs. Muir at the end.
You guys played the same character.
Yes, and I was the dead version.
It was a brilliantly done ending to the show.
It was.
That they had this armchair in the attic because the stage was beautiful. They had this whole house, and there was this armchair facing out to the ocean.
Yes.
And I died in the chair. But I had to then get up, rush down the stairs, and walk off into the twilight as a ghost.
That's right.
And you played me dead.
So I would run in and be dead.
It's delicious.
And that was an audition. Okay, that was an audition. But I actually auditioned for singing too. This was my very first singing gig. This was
Right.
actually my very first performance after coming back from New York. I studied at American Academy of Dramatic Arts.
Wow.
And this was my first. I was actually planning to go back
Yes.
to New York.
Yes.
But I didn't because I got this gig, right? And so I stayed in Toronto. And you know, during in between rehearsals and stuff, you talked to me, and because my last name was so unique, you said, do you have a relative by the name of Mike Kryzakos? And I know there's so few Kryzakoses in North
Right.
America. I'm related to all of them. You can
Right.
count them on like two hands. And so I said yes, and you said, but I don't know him. And you said, well, you know, he's a music manager. You have music in your background.
Yes.
And I didn't know that. And then you
Right.
said, you have a pop voice. You should look into singing.
Wow.
And I actually went into singing after that and became
Oh,
a
I'm
songwriter,
so
and I had a
happy.
band. And yeah.
That's beautiful.
So you started that.
Oh, I'm thrilled, Sandra. That is, the world is very small, isn't it?
Well,
And
it's coming full
strange.
circle. We were just
Yeah.
singing "It's a Small World" earlier because it's so funny how that happened. So
Yes.
here's another That Channel miracle.
I know.
I'm
So
so,
nice to
glad.
see you, my
I'm
girl.
so glad I was nice.
Well,
You
you
know,
were that time.
Things come back to haunt you. No, I try to be.
Is that
all
an
the time.
exception, June?
No.
Are we moving to a biography now? Are we being like the Barbara Walters interview now? Are we
Do
going
I
to cry?
Don't
Wow.
ask me what kind of tree I want to be. Right? Didn't she ask that of?
I'll just
no,
ask what kind of
some-
flower.
Oh, a flower. Oh, definitely a white magnolia.
Oh my God.
yes.
That sounds like that suits you. So suits you. My, how we've grown, eh?
Yes.
Wow, this is
No,
amazing.
I know what it was. Barbara Walters asked Katharine Hepburn what kind of tree she wanted to be. And Katharine said, an oak. So I'd be a jacaranda tree. Have you ever seen jacaranda blossoms?
It sounds familiar. Do we have
Yes.
them here in Ontario?
No, they only grow in warm climates.
Like New Orleans, they got them, right?
Yes.
Which is where jazz is.
Jazz, absolutely, in New Orleans. That's the,
And that's
the
what you
prime
do
place.
now.
I do jazz now. Good segue.
Now, how did that happen, June?
The jazz?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, because I was in music, then I went into theater, then I went back. I took a whole hiatus for about 15 years. And when I came back, I thought, I need to do jazz. And
What made you think that?
well, this is what's so peculiar because when I was 3 years old in Johannesburg, South Africa, my father, Eric Garber, was killed in a plane crash when I was 3. And no one talked about him. And I never knew anything about him. And I came to Canada and I got a website, and someone sent me a note on my website, if you are June Garber, the daughter of Eric Garber, you need to know that he is the best jazz drummer, or he was the best jazz drummer in South Africa. So I think it was innate. It was in my blood that I needed to do jazz.
So you had a stranger tell you had jazz in your family, just like I had a stranger tell me I had music in my family.
Exactly. There you go.
Isn't that interesting?
It was quite amazing. So I think that's why I chose to do jazz. And even when I sang a lot in Vegas and Atlantic City and all around the States and in Canada, and even though I wasn't singing jazz per se, all my choices of music were jazz. So it was like the Pointer Sisters, very much.
Pointer Sisters?
Yeah, Manhattan. Yeah.
I don't think of them as jazz, though.
But they did. They
I think
sang
their
a lot of
roots were,
jazz.
yeah. Yeah.
I know later on they became much more pop, but they sang things like Salt Peanuts and banging
God,
on the
that would be
pipes with
amazing.
steam heat. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of jazz in there.
So you must have felt like you went home when you started doing jazz.
Yes. And I didn't know why. I
You
didn't
didn't
know
find
why.
out until after.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a very cool story.
I know. Yeah.
That is
it's
very
amazing.
cool. So now you have an album or
Yes,
CD out?
I have a new one out.
There it is.
Which is, yes. And
I
it's
Know.
called This I Know.
So-
This I Know.
What's the story with
Oh my
the title,
God.
June? Like,
Yeah.
what do you know?
That's a white magnolia. If ever
Isn't
I
it?
saw.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Love
Wow,
that.
it's beautiful.
Okay. So in the last, I would say 3 years, there've been a lot of changes up and down, and I came through it with a deep knowledge of what emotional pain is, what emotional healing is, and what emotional joy is. And what I know is that what we need is love and health and friends and family and happiness. That is what I know. And all those songs go back to my South African roots. I've got some originals on there, but South African like Miriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela on there. And yeah.
Yeah, I noticed the first song is all about the jacaranda tree, right?
Yes,
Underneath
that's
the
an
jacaranda
original.
tree.
I had to write about South Africa.
Now, did you ever spend any time underneath a jacaranda tree?
Many times.
And what happened?
It's a beautiful sight. In the spring, all of these beautiful jacaranda trees are in bloom, beautiful lilac color. They fall to the pavement, and you're just surrounded by these beautiful blossoms, and it's an amazing sight. And so everything that is in my soul from South Africa, because I left my soul there, is in that song, Underneath the Jacaranda Tree.
So you know what we're going to do? We're going to actually play that song as we
Yay!
go
love
out.
to hear
When we're
that.
finished,
Yes.
here, we'll go out with that, run
That's-
the credits over it,
yeah.
give people a taste.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
when I think, June, what comes to me with you is just pure joy. You are just bliss.
Oh my God.
It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing.
Thank you.
And yeah, you haven't changed because you were that then too. And for the Ghost of Mrs.
Good.
Muir.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. Yeah, I try to keep a sense of harmony and a sense of goodness in the world in here. And I think somehow it emanates from one, if that's how you are within.
Yes,
I think
yes.
it shows through they always say the eyes are the windows of the soul.
Absolutely.
And I think that's very true.
Well, yours are always smiling.
Yeah. Well, not always.
Well,
But yeah, lately,
but
yes.
I still think even on a down day for you, it's not so down.
Okay. I'll take that one.
I can't wait to hear her song. I would
Well-
wish she was performing live.
Well, maybe we can work something out.
Oh, you are
One of these
performing live
days.
somewhere.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Let's talk about that,
Oh,
right?
yes,
Thanks, Chris.
thank you, yes.
What's happening, June? What's going on?
Well, I'm doing a lot of stuff on Jazz FM,
Oh,
which
great.
is Jazz 91.1, which is one of the best, well, the best jazz station, I think, in North America. Canada for sure, 24/7. And I do quite a bit of stuff for them, but I'm having a CD release party at Lula Lounge on June the 14th. And I have the incredible Guido Basso, who is like the master beyond masters. He has agreed to play some of the songs. I have George Kohler, Mark Kieswetter, Ben Whitman, Alison Young, William Sperandi. Who am I forgetting? Gosh. Aidan Mason on guitar. He's from South Africa. Thank you. Gosh, it's just
Sounds like an
it's gonna
amazing
and
event.
four gospel singers. Four gospel singers. Carvin Winans is on my CD, but he's huge. He's amazing, from the Winans family. But four gospel singers on stage with me at Lula. So it's like crazy.
It sounds like I'm getting shivers
Sounds
up
like a
my
religious
spine
experience.
already.
Like a spiritual-
Just thinking about it.
Good. Are you joshing with me, Hugh?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good.
No, I actually think he is being honest, but I don't
Yeah.
think he really. Hugh's the kind of guy who makes it a joke because he doesn't want people to think he's really serious.
Okay.
That's true.
Because he doesn't want people to see that sensitive side.
Yeah.
Okay, the truth is out.
Well, I'm really I'm thrilled. It's very, very exciting.
It almost sounds like it's going to be one of the cultural events this year in Toronto. I'm getting that vibe, June.
You are?
I really am.
Just my enthusiasm for the whole thing. I can't believe it. It's so wonderful. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how often do you perform live?
well, on June 11th, I'll be at the Old Mill in the big room with an
Okay.
18-piece band.
Wow.
So that's like a very wonderful
How
thing.
much do you rehearse for something like that?
Just one night.
Do you need any backup singers?
No, hey. It's yeah. So that's on the 11th. The 14th is the CD release. The 16th, I'm back at Lula Lounge with the Jazz Safari. It's a one-stop jazz safari where 24 singers are on and off stage with I think a 5-piece band, and we all perform a song. And James B. from Jazz FM 91 orchestrates the whole thing. And I don't know, it's seamless and it works. And this is their 10th one. This is the 10th year. Wow, of doing it. And I think they do it twice or 3 times a year.
That's weird. I just saw James B. last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
At a jazz club?
At a jazz club.
Which jazz club?
Well, he wasn't performing. I
No,
saw
no,
him
no,
at
he-
the 120 diner.
Oh, that's so. Oh, were you playing?
Me and Lala went over there to just to say hi to
Yeah.
Ori.
Oh, I love Ori.
And,
He's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
I love Ori.
And as soon as we got there's James B. with
Yeah.
Gigi,
With Gigi,
right?
yeah,
Getting into
yeah.
I'll say a limo,
Yeah, and going off.
going off somewhere.
Yeah. No, I love them. And James, he is so amazing for live jazz. He has all these jazz safaris.
Yeah, I
and he
know.
takes people to the clubs. They go on international jazz safaris. They're going to London, England. And then this is the one stop. And there's a wine safari where you go to Niagara and you go
nice.
to like 4 different wineries. John Finley sings at one.
I know
Laura
him.
Fernandez sings at one. I'm singing at one. I think Helen. I can't remember which one I'm singing at. Anyway, it's the most divine thing.
Wow.
And people visit all these wineries and taste the wine, have a little nibble.
Don't forget to spit it out if you're just tasting it. Otherwise, you get drunk. Right?
We are in a bus, so we can get drunk.
There you go.
I'll have a talk with James B.
It's all
about that.
considered safe.
He doesn't, of course.
No, of course not.
No.
Okay.
That was absolute.
Well, June, listen, this has been a lot of fun here today.
Beautiful.
Right?
What a trip.
Yeah.
What a trip and a half.
So
Fantastic.
it's been great to meet you, and
Yeah.
thanks for coming in today. All the
It
best
was
with
a
the
pleasure.
album launch.
Thank you. You guys are amazing.
So are
And
you.
just did a great job. So,
Well,
and
thanks.
to see you again. Wow.
Okay, and people can go to junegarber.com, probably order the CD, find out all the rest, right?
iTunes or CD Baby.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And go to the show on June 14th. There's the CD. That's what it looks like. And see June live at Lulo. It's going to be an
Truly,
awesome
I think
show.
it's going to be a
Yeah.
It's
spiritual
going to be
experience.
spine-tingling, I can already
Yeah. Yeah, goosebumps, shivers.
tell. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, June.
So good to see you.
Thank you.
And that's it for the show today.
Wow.
Except for those tuning in live, you're going to get to see
Yay.
Signa Miranda perform live in just a couple of minutes here on ThatChannel.com. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. This was great today.